Hello everyone, welcome back to Minecraft on the Block. This is TerraFirmaCraft beta, I don't know, beta 2 pre-39, whatever it is I said before. And I'm actually, this is cassiterite, this is surface cassiterite. I'm right around the corner from the mine that we left ourselves at last time. That's right over there, 60 meters. And I just was kind of walking around to see what else was over here, and I found this, so I figured I might as well pick it up. I'm gonna have to drop some stone, but I'm not sure how many pieces are here. But it'll be a few. So there's one more and we'll fill up that stack. It was, I think it said traces or a small sample. Yeah, traces now. So these three are probably traces. I don't know if it's worth a stack. Let me just take a look real quick. It may not be worth oh, what is the, what? What is that? That must be one of those little, yeah, chip topaz, don't care. And that's in whatever cobblestone that was, but there's three pieces. Man, this stuff is so valuable though. I think I'm going to get rid of that and get some more of this, except for I didn't do what I just tried to do. Get rid of, what? I'm going to get rid of the schist. It's not going to, we're not going to actually use it for anything short term. So there's 1, 2, 3. There we go. So that gave us basically another stack, probably maybe even less. But that's about what a traces of castrite looks like. Okay, so anyway, sorry. What we're gonna do today is go find a home, and I just pillared up there so I could just kind of get an idea. Yeah, I was just going around tapping these blocks, just seeing what there is to see. There's definitely going to be, I feel confident now. So yeah, in here you can see this is the insanity that's inside this hills thing. It's really actually kind of cool. It's something about the edge, the way the edge generated here made this kind of like cliffs surrounding this inner area. I don't hate the whole thing. That was a strange little glitch right there. I don't hate the whole thing. It's kind of a cool little world gen, made for some really dark stuff. You can see there's tons of skeletons over there. They're probably coming for me. I better take off. I think it's probably a dangerous place to live. It's not going to be where we want to put down roots, but there's this, kind of this little hidden forest. And then up there is snow. You can see snow because of the elevation up higher. So it's actually, I do think it's kind of cool. I just don't think it's for us. So but I do also think that if we were to, let's go take a quick look. I think if we just did a little bit of looking around here, we would find that there is more cassiterite, probably even more surface cassiterite if we look closely. That's not it. That is it. You can see the difference right there. I don't see any off the top, just kind of a quick scan, but we can just go, tap around and see what we find as we get out. So this is the edge. Let's see anything out here. Nothing right there. Anyway, we're not going to spend too much time. Ooh. Bismuthenite. That is that's it right there. Let me find out what that is. The wiki's back up, so let me check it out real quick. All right, guys, I'm back. It's just bismuthenite, or bismuth is what it gives you. So I'm actually going to take it out of there's only traces, and I don't know how rare it is or what we're going to use it for, but I think you can make like bismuth copper or bismuth bronze maybe. So let's go ahead and sleep. I'm going to just grab it. An interesting thing is that I was going to show you, I've been tapping around it, and it says right next to it, it says nothing of interest. And I had to get below it to see any. So like right there, it was saying nothing of interest. Same with that. But right there, it says traces of bismuthenite. And I have no idea why that is. So I'm going to grab this. I think it's only just a few pieces, probably just these 4. But and that may not, well, no, there's a little bit more. That may not be enough to even do anything with. but like I said, I would like to have it. So let me go ahead and clean this out real quick and I'll be right back. All right, guys, we got exactly 8 pieces, which works out all right. So, all right. This is actually really good. This is a relatively large. Yeah, this is good. I mean, this, we just want to stay, we don't have to be real close to this area, but we want to stay kind of close because this is just a really big, whatever this biome is, and it's surrounded by these granite cliffs, and we can always come here and search, you know, high and low, and it'll probably be a frustrating experience, but at least we know it's possible to find it here, and that is a large amount of granite. It would be even nicer if the interior, if the actual Hills 2 biome itself and not just the Hills 2 edge consisted of the granite layer, but we can't complain because that is a huge find for us. So we're going to want to stay close. And in that spirit, let's go try to find our home. Now let's do this. Let's turn off some of these waypoints because they're getting in the way. Chest with stones can go. We're never going back there. Temp mine camp can go. We're never going back there. Large sylvite, I'm not sure. That probably is too far away. I'm not going to worry about that. Beautiful hills, potential home. We'll leave that one on. Very large bituminous coal. These two right here. The exposed is more important. We'll leave that one on. The native copper is right next to that one. Sphalerite's interesting, and castrite mine and schist, so we'll leave those on. So let's go this way. The bituminous coal exposed was actually in the biome I was thinking about considering, or I was considering making us a home, and we can go back there and see what we think. Now, it looks like some of the trees are starting to bloom. This will be interesting, actually. What is it, in? Yeah, it is Wednesday, the April 1st, which means how many days have I been doing? So it's now spring, not early spring. I can't remember. We'll have to go back and look at the other video, but it should tell us. We should be able to figure out what that is. I mean, that's a lot of days for me to have been wandering around, and I did sleep a lot of nights, pretty much all of them. So that would give us kind of some idea of how long I've been wandering around. But this is cool. I mean, it's wild. I would like to get up on top of these cliffs and see what the world looks like from up there. We might do that. Okay, let me do this until I get a little further back. I don't want to bore you guys to death with this. Let's take a quick look up here. If I remember correctly, I just really liked the idea that there was this forest biome here has whatever this is, which isn't the, that's not basalt. That's another type of stone, which is actually very cool. Does it have any? Nothing in there right now. Yeah, see some of these trees. These trees are starting to turn in early spring, so that's very cool. We'll need to get some saplings from those. Got a chunk error over there. So I was kind of intrigued by the fact that there was that stone pretty close with some of this dark dirt, and then even a darker stone and darker dirt just a hair further down the road, which is right over here. Hopefully it'll happen quickly, because I know we got a lot to do today, and I don't want to. This might be a little bit of a long episode because I really owe you guys after last time some actual substance. So the bituminous coal, by the way, really just turns out to be coal. It looks like coal, if I remember correctly. It looks like coal, and it is the coal version of fuel that you can use in, like, you can't use it in a bloomery, but I don't think you can use it in a bloomery. I think you have to have charcoal, but I think you can use it in. I think you can use it in the not foundry, the forge. Okay, so another thing that makes this a good place is I believe these to be willows, and if they are, I have some ink sacs. If they are, they grow pretty quick, and you can see they have a lot of logs with them, and this is really good for making charcoal pits, which we're going to want to do somewhat frequently. So we're getting close to the native copper. Oh man, that coal is a lot farther away than I thought it was. Maybe this is the place I was thinking. So we don't have to go to that coal. Let me see. Man, that coal is a long way away. I thought there was a hills area. Let's see, maybe this copper is it. This might get us into, what biome are we in? Yeah, Hills 3. This might be the one. I wanted to get some elevation, find us a nice spot on top of a hill where we had some water. Yep. So if we go right here, I believe this is where we saw native, well, somewhere around here is a large sample of native copper. And you can kind of see the overhang here. Let's just take a look up here. And what I was thinking is we would definitely like to have some elevation for our foundry. So when we start putting our forge and bloomery and stuff down, the higher up we are, the better it's going to work. And that means that this hills biome might be the perfect place. So we might be able to just clear off this hilltop without feeling too bad about it and make a nice spot up here. Go up even a little bit higher, and then we've got some copper to mine right below us, which would be really nice. Man, this even keeps going up. It's going to be a little hard to get home at times, but let's keep going. This is fun. I hope you guys think it's fun. That's something else that you guys probably maybe noticed and I didn't mention. You don't stand on leaves in this game. You fall through leaves, and so you'll notice me a lot of times when I'm going, putzing around. Oh, see, getting up into the snow. Maybe what we want to do is set up shop just below the snow line, because this is just flat too high, I think. Man, we can keep this. I do like a lot of what they've done with the world gen. You can tell that some of it turns out to render some pretty funky stuff, but this is not bad at all. This is nice, the way these mountains end up rendering. And I think we're just not getting anything because it's so high up. Let me, I don't know if turning on the draw distance helps that in this case, but you can see that we should be seeing stuff the way, even on the mini map, you can see that there's stuff down there. It's just not drawing. And maybe that's because I haven't been down yet. Let's go over here and see if it starts to draw in. Yeah, these are just some big mountains. So let me look around a little bit. I think this is probably, oh wow, it's just a really big cliff. Yeah, definitely some funky stuff. But this is kind of like the Sky Forge or something. It reminds me of, being on the edge of the world up here. So maybe we'll go right below snow level. Anyway, I'm totally rambling now. Let me go find a place where I think would be a cool place for us to call home, and we will settle down there and we'll start working on the next steps. Guys, I'm back, and you can see this right here, which is a large sample of cinnabar. That's interesting. That right there is cinnabar. That is a very large sample of native copper. So that's all native copper, which is good. This is not the same place that I was right over there, 94 meters over. So what's interesting is when I was way up on top of this mountain, we were almost at world height. I was at, like right now we're at 161. We were up as high as I think 230 something, or I don't know. So anyway, this is going to be important. We're going to call this waypoint add exposed native copper. So we need to set up somewhere pretty close around here. We need to get rolling on that. It's cinnabar. I'm not exactly sure what it does. I looked it up on the wiki, that red stuff right there. This is just this whole dark, you can see this already, the contrast of having, something like granite sitting around if we craft that into some nice blocks. What was I going to say? Oh, cinnabar, I looked it up and it said it could be crafted into redstone or something, but it didn't say what it yielded as far as an ore or anything. I don't know. Maybe cinnabar is the ore. So what I kind of want to do, just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking and why this is maybe taking me longer than you might like, I would like, maybe that's the spot. What I would really like, or maybe this is the spot, I would like to have a house, someplace that has a nice view, and I don't really know what that's going to look like. I was hoping there would be some, it's just really hard with the drawing issues. You have to get close, but that's kind of cool up there. I'd like to have a house somewhere that has a decent view. And then I would like to have a forge that's even higher up where we kind of walk up to the foundry and forge area and work up there and have like a temporary house, like a workshop house up there. And we could start working on that one first. And I don't want it to be too difficult to get to, and we'll make stairs and whatnot as we would normally do. I'm not sure how you craft stairs in this mod. What I don't have installed that the Chryson does install is like the easy movement or simple movement or better movement, or I don't know what it's called. But I don't have that installed, and it takes me a lot, especially I think I'm starting to understand why he uses it, because this mod has just a bunch of crazy crazy world gen features. I just really want to get up there. Let me search around a little bit more. This is something that I will spend time on, that you guys don't need to see me waste time on, because this is important to me. Where I build my house and what it looks like as far as the view and stuff like that. So let me look around, figure out what I'm going to do, and I'll be back. Hi guys, I don't have a perfect answer yet, but I don't know what world height is, but this has got to be close to it. So something I find interesting, if I pause the game, the world loads a lot faster. It just starts to actually like load and do its thing, and it definitely unloads and loads. I don't know if it's something, well, I think it is something to do with TerraFirmaCraft, but it's really interesting. So I am at 234, which is way up here. This is kind of that top of that place where we were at before. I finally got things to kind of load. I've been working down in here, just kind of messing around. There's no real good views, to be honest. I mean, besides this, which may be considered a good view. It's pretty cool. You can kind of see the edge of the render distance pretty well from up here, which is kind of annoying. I don't love that. Yeah, that's what these hard lines are. So if we were to increase our render distance, we probably would get some stuff there. But what I was thinking is, it's kind of too, well, this is a cool view. Let's go over here and see what loads. It's all, basically everything around us is forest. I was thinking about going just below. So if I pause, I think this stuff here will start drawing in. Yeah, you can kind of see. It doesn't really do it when I'm moving and playing, but when I pause, things start to draw. So if you guys know what that is, tell me. I'd like to figure out a way to make this work better. But from here, this is pretty cool. I could go with this as a decent view from our Skyforge. So what I was going to do is go just down below the snow line, which is right over here somewhere. I think this is kind of where we come up on the corner. So it would be, I need a flat, kind of a flat area. Of course, I could make a flat area somewhat. And down there is the exposed copper. I also considered maybe right over here on the other side of the valley from the exposed copper. But the further down I get, the more I feel like we're wasting altitude that we could be using. So something like right here would probably be good. If I could just kind of flatten this off. Yeah, right there's the exposed native copper. If I could kind of flatten this off, maybe make the house over there or over here somewhere, because there's some water around, which we're going to need until we get some iron and we're able to get buckets and stuff. We're not going to be able to do anything except for irrigation for things like wheat and whatnot. So let's do that. Let me go ahead and, man, I feel like I'm blabbering and we're looking for a home and we're wasting precious time. So let me go ahead and get set up here. I think what we'll do is we'll spend the time getting the Skyforge area cleared out, and I can use a lot of these trees to make the charcoal pit, which is something we need to do this episode for sure. And is that more? That's cinnabar. I almost fell off the edge of a cliff. Oh man, that scared me to death. Anyway, that's more cinnabar right there, which is totally useless to us unless we want redstone, I guess. Which maybe we do. Maybe we will be able to use that. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the Skyforge up here. It'll be a relatively easy jaunt. We'll just have to make a path that kind of winds down to our home. That'll be kind of a cool build. Something that's not too crazy, but will look really nice in the midst of this kind of dark dirt and forest. And I'm into this forest. So anyway, totally rambling. Let me get set up and ready for us to take our next steps, and then we'll come back. Hi guys, I'm back for a quick check-in. A couple of things I was going to mention. First off, I was looking for some white cedar and I found it down here, and I got some saplings as well. I'm going to plant some of those up top. If you remember, they've got this dark or this really light color. They're the white almost tree, kind of a grayish white. I love that. So I'm going to use those to do some building up there, actually just for supports, and I'll show you what we're going to do. And then also a couple of things that are on my list right now. There's dogs down here. One right over there, and I would like to get some bones and try to get a dog or two. I think that'd be fun. That kind of fits the mood of the world. I also need to get a couple more pieces of string. I'd really like to get, man, that is just beautiful. I love it. I'd like to get some string and make a bow. Right now we got no way to defend ourselves. So I'm going to cut a nice path into the side of this mountain at some point so that we can get up and down a lot easier. But for now, we can kind of make our way up. It's not perfect, but it's not that bad. Show you really quickly what I've been doing and what my plans are. Let's see. I thought I could, yeah, I think I can. I think I can basically make it all the way up just with these little hoppity hops. It's a ways up there. You can see that right there is me kind of leveling things out. I like to put a nice cliff edge around whatever I'm working on, because especially here, I don't have the ability to defend myself really. No sword or anything yet, although we're going to remedy that real quickly. So this is the area. I've cleared it out. There was that big sequoia here. The problem with sequoias is you can't get saplings from them. So that's an issue. You take them down, they're done. But I'm going to use them. I'm going to use those down there probably, just because you need a lot of wood for this. I think I figured out you need 30 full logs, 30 full log piles to make the maximum you can make in a charcoal pit, which we're going to get into here in a minute. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this process. I just love the way this dirt looks too. I'm going to start this process, and I'm going to use this dirt as the kind of the cave for the forge and the what's the word, the bloomery. So I'm going to make a foundry up here, and I'm going to put dirt, probably even a little, I don't have much left. I used a lot of it. I cleared it and used a lot to expand this, so that's kind of where we're at right now. But what I'm going to try to fit up here is the foundry over here. I'm going to dig down probably one block, go into the mountain, put supports up so that the dirt doesn't fall in on me, and then make my foundry and stuff in there. It's going to be kind of a little cave for metalworking. And then I'll have the charcoal pit probably over here somewhere, maybe right here. It'll be dug one into the ground. I'm getting ready to do that, so I'll show you. And then, man, I wish this would stay drawn. It just unloads. You can see how that, because this is just, it is, I'm starting to dig the view here, but it doesn't stay loaded. And it gets weird holes in it. So anyway, I'm going to work on that, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys where I was at and what I was doing. I'm going to plant some of these white cedars up here because I'm going to be using them a lot. I really like that wood in contrast with all of this. It's going to look great. So that's what I was doing. What else? Yeah, we'll keep rolling here. We'll probably have a sword and a pick and a chisel by the time we're done, because we're going to have a lot of work to do. I'll lay it out and kind of show what we're doing, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, real quick check-in. Oh, for one thing, I got to get rid of this map. I hate that map being on. I don't know why I turned it back on. Okay, so I'm going to do the thing right here, and so I wanted to just show you. What I think I'm going to do is have the cave come out probably 1 or 2 blocks over, probably to like right here, and then this may get dug out just a little bit more in kind of more of a half circle probably. But what I was kind of thinking, sorry, I'm not too close to my mic. What I'm thinking is I want to put the support beams probably right here, because they will support 4 blocks in front and 4 blocks behind whatever block, wherever they're at. So if I put one right here, it will do a 9 by 9, well, a 9 by 9 area for one beam, but it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. It would support all the way out to here, and then 4 deep, which is probably good enough for us. We're not going to come this far out, but it'll let us go 4 deep. So we'll do that real quick. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to make you put the axe up in the left corner, and then for verticals you make them like that. For horizontals you make them like that. And I might have a couple of these in the chest. Let me go see. I think I just dropped my axe. That's all right. I think I have... No, I left them. Left them over at the Cassidite mine. So I'm going to probably need... Well, let's start with that. I'm going to need some more verticals and some more horizontals. Let's go ahead and make them. So... another set of verts, and they stack in the same way by 8s. So you can't carry a ton of them. And I keep dropping my axe. Okay, so I'm going to put these, I think, here. I want to go one higher. You can actually put a vertical or a horizontal at the corner. There we go. And over here, that just looks nice with that contrast. It's a really, that's one of the reasons I really like being in this dark dirt and dark stone area. I think it looks awesome. But I've said that like 10 times, so I'll spare you. Now, let's get up on top. And I'm not sure exactly how this is going to look. We might tear this down and start over, but I think it's going to be kind of cool. Now, the thing is, I might need to put another layer of dirt up here. Okay, so that's as far as you can go with one vertical set of support beams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out. And then... so we can meet up in the middle, but we could expand. I believe we can cover like an 11 by 11, is that right? Something like that, or 12 by 12 wide with one set of support beams. So now we can do something like this. Let's see. I kind of want it to look like it was built up in the front, so I was going to do this. Let's see, like this. Because you know how it would, this is kind of at least how I envisioned that it would look if we had done it this way to begin with on purpose. So let's see. Yeah. And too bad we can't have half slabs of dirt. That's probably not going to look good, but we'll come back and shape it a little bit. That's not bad. It needs to look a little bit more natural, but now we can dig this out without worrying about anything. And I think it's going to look really cool with that color back there. Now, I haven't decided what I'm going to do on the floor. I'll probably put bricks once I get the chisel going. This is actually, truth be known, this is not the most important thing we could be doing right now as far as getting ready, because we can't even build our bloomery or forge in here. Well, we could build our forge, and I'll show you why that's true. I'm gonna wait and build it once I have the right materials, but I think we're getting pretty close to 30 minutes, and I said I was gonna make sure that I got you guys some information about smelting and we get a tool. So this one may run a little long, like I said, but I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to do that right now, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna do a whirlwind tour. I went ahead and I'll explain this, but we're gonna do a whirlwind tour through getting ready to do some metal work. So here's what I'm gonna do. First thing we're gonna need is a piece of paper and a feather. So one feather, one piece of paper. We're also gonna need some ink. We're going to need 3 pieces of leather. We're going to need more than that as far as planks go, so I'll go ahead and make some of those. And we're going to make a scribing table. That's one of the first things we're going to do, so let's go ahead and get these down to planks. Scribing table is going to look like this, so I'll explain what it's for in a minute. But that, oops, need a piece of paper first. So make yourself 1 piece of paper, or 3. Put it right there. A feather up there, and then a boat below it. And that gets you a scribing table. That's going to be important for us. Another thing we're going to need to speed up our lives here is a bellows. So we're going to need 3 more planks. And just since I don't know what I'm going to need that stuff for, I'll do this. So I really do like these white planks. I love that white cedar. It's one of my favorites. And then leather in the middle. That gives us a bellows. Now, The bellows, we're going to use it for the fire. You can actually, a bellows basically forces air into a fire and superheats it. When a fire gets, just like wind, or when you blow on a fire to try to get it going, that's what a bellows does, except for it does it by the machine it's made of leather and wood, and you compress it and it shoots air out one end, right? You guys get the idea. So we're going to create a bellows. We can actually use that for a fire pit. At least we used to be able to. I'm going to see if we still can. And now what we need is an actual fire pit. So I'm going to put it right here to start with, just kind of in the middle here. And that's going to mean we need a fire starter, because I don't think I have one. By the way, if you guys hear kids screaming and yelling or anything, it's I'm watching kids today by myself, so it's possible that they'll come yelling down for dad. So that would be totally fine, but I might have to just break off quickly. So 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I put them in the right place. They kind of all have to be in the same square. I haven't gotten like really good at this yet. There we go. All right, and let's go ahead and put some, well, you know what, in fact, realize we need something else. We need some of this hickory. I'm going to grab this hickory that we had, and I'm going to go ahead and you make a boat out of clay, and we're going to need at least 2 of these to start with, and we get these clay molds. Oh, but we only need 4 will be good, so you get 4 out of every set. Those are going to be critical to us as we move forward, so we're going to go ahead and take those, put them in here, and those are going to get cooked up. And while that's going, we don't need super hot for that, so I'm just going to put some of the white cedar in. I went ahead and planted some white cedars around here, by the way. Ooh, one grew right there. That's excellent. And then planted a couple more over there. They're not native to this area. There's one. Yeah, they're growing, and they grow pretty quick, so that's good. That's a good wood. I'm going to be happy to use that. All right, so this is it's heating up. It goes from, you can see hot, and whenever you're in the fire pit interface, you can see it gives you the ticks. It's hot, 1, 2, 3, 4, then very hot, and then it'll get 4 stars there, and then it'll go up to whatever's next, which is like red hot or white hot. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so that will cook down into a ceramic mold, which is what we're going to use to hold our actual metal once we get rolling. So let's go ahead and put the bellows down for now right here. And it has to be facing the right way, I think. Which that is not. Does this work? That's backwards. I guess it faces away from you when you place it. So like that. Now, if I right click on it, I'm going to work that, and then you can see this heat rising. You see it already started rising even though I didn't even have any wood in there. So let's go ahead and put one more of these in for now. And let's get our scribing table down. I know we're going long, so I'm going to try to make this kind of quick, but we need to take an ink sac, put it in a crafting area, any crafting area, and we get these markings. So we're going to go ahead and grab a marking. We also need a couple pieces of paper, which we had. And what we're going to try to do is make a plan. And one of the first things we want is a chisel, because we're going to need it for a lot of stuff. We're going to need it for making the bellows, and for making things look cool and all kinds of stuff, and for making bricks that you can actually build with, because cobble, as I've mentioned before, you can't make obviously a roof out of cobble. If you go like this and put a piece of cobble right there, it falls down, so that doesn't work, right? So with bricks you can actually build, and I think they're talking about making that even more difficult, like where you have to have supports and mortar and all that stuff for even brick building. But anyway, okay, so there's a chisel head. You draw in here and you get all kinds of stuff. Like, for instance, if we wanted to do a pickaxe, that would be a pickaxe head, right? And then you can do swords and whatever. But we want to chisel first, so it's very simple, just straight down the middle. So we're going to grab that plan. And I don't know if we're going to get to that today, but okay, so we got our 2 ceramic molds. I'm going to go ahead and grab what I believe is the correct amount, 9 of these things. Well, just grab a stack in a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a ceramic mold down here, which is where our liquid metal will go when it's done. And we put it up here. And now we right click on the bellows and let it get going. In fact, let's put some hickory in here because it burns hot. We'll go ahead and fill this up with our hickory. So you can see that's warming, so let's go ahead and run the bellows. And I'm not sure how effective you can be with this, like if you can just keep doing it and it'll just keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter, but you can see the temperature rising. This thing's warming. And I'll show you real quick and then I'll go away and do the rest offline real quick. But what it's going to do is this will get, I think once it gets up to very hot, it will pour down into the ceramic mold. It doesn't take a lot of heat for these cassiterite to smelt down into its ore, and you can see we're using the hickory pretty quick. So I think I heard one of the kids. We'll see see if they come down. So yeah, so that's actually getting pretty hot. The bellows is helping. So it's at very hot, and I think once it hits one tick on very hot, there it goes. It goes down into the unshaped tin, and you can see I only got about a quarter of that, and I'm going to need, I think, 5 total to fill this, and then it'll fill part of another one, and that's lame because I just ruined one of my clay molds. I guess if you have 2 clay molds in there, yep, don't leave 2 clay molds in there. So let me go ahead and cook up another one of these, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so that's a lesson learned. You'll lose one of your ceramic molds if you have 2 of them in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Oh, and I can't. See, this is a pain. I believe we can combine those. We'll have to look into this. So you can't put one back in there to have it refilled. You have to leave it in. So that's a pain. I'm going to go ahead and put some more cassiterite in here and work this thing. I don't have any more hickory, and it goes pretty quick, so I'm going to do this. But that's a lesson learned. It's best to be a little bit prepared for this. What you want to do, see, this isn't going to get nearly as hot, which means it's going to take longer. But that's okay. I'll do it offline, but I'm going to go ahead and melt these down. Right when they go from hot to very hot, that's when they pour in. You saw that. What I can do is basically combine these. I'll since this one has 1, I'll do 4 in here and then combine them, and I'll come back and show you that just to show you how that mechanic works. And then we'll get 1 total unshaped, and then we'll come back and we'll need to do 1 more, which means I'm going to need 1 more clay mold. So it turns out I will have exactly enough once this is all said and done. But so it goes to hot, very hot, and then liquid. So it's not going to take too long, especially with the bellows and especially with the altitude. So there's the very hot unshaped tin. We'll put 2 more in here, and then I'll mix them together. I'll be right back to show you that. All right, guys, for one thing, it looks like I was wrong. It looks like it's only 3 cassiterite to fill one of these, which is good. So I will go ahead, actually, and no, you know what I'm going to do just to test this? I'm going to take that out, put the clay mold in there to let it go, bring this over and see if I can. There we go. So combining 2 of these, this is 1 and this is 2. That gives me 1 full unshaped tin. So that's a way you can reuse your molds. But I'm going to go ahead and let this mold heat up and turn it into a ceramic mold. I'll make 1 more full unshaped tin, and then we'll come back and work them into ingots in just a minute. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I know this episode's getting long. We're close to 40 minutes already, but I wanted to show you one more thing while I'm smelting. So remember way back when we got these pieces of diorite in preparation for, well, it seems way back to me, it was probably in this episode. We got those in preparation for making an anvil, so for some metalworking. So to do that, we just need to go like this, and we get a stone anvil, right? So it's a upside down H or an I or whatever. So that's our stone anvil. We grab that, and we're going to use that here. And we'll go ahead and for now put it right here. We'll put this somewhere in there, but let's keep this going. Okay, there's a little bit, so we only need 2 more pieces, and we'll have this. Now, let me just show you a little bit about this anvil interface. You'll put the piece of thing, whatever you want to work right here. It has to be at a working temperature. We'll talk about that. You put the plan here if you actually have a plan, like if you're going to do the chisel plan would go right there. If you're going to work unshaped tin into an ingot, you don't have to put anything here. This is the weld button. This is where you would put 2 things to weld together, and we'll talk about that. This is where flux would go over here if we were going to weld, and this is where the hammer goes. So we need to make a hammer real quick, and a hammer is just like a prospector's pickaxe, except for you complete the other side, and you get a stone hammer. And that will basically just sit here in your anvil all the time. You'll use it also to make flux. Well, actually, you need to make flux with a metal hammer, so we can't do that until we get one. But all right, that's going to turn into liquid in just a second. Let me go ahead and finish this up, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back, and this cassiterite, for some reason, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to figure this out, but this only took total of 3 pieces to get the unshaped tin. I'm already on like this I believe is the 5th piece. So there's definitely something weird. I don't know if some yields more, or if it was because I took the pieces out, or if you have, I don't know, something going on, but it's interesting. Another thing I was going to mention, you can see this unshaped tin is completely unheated now, so we're going to have to put it back in the fire pit. We'll be using a forge for that later on, but for now we'll put it back in the fire pit to get it reheated. And all I'm going to do is take one of these and work them into an ingot to show you, and then we'll start with our with our chisel blade next time. So we'll start making the tool, and then we'll actually get the bloomery and the forge built next time, because we'll have the materials that we need. I'm going to build it out of granite, I believe, because I think, again, it's going to look really cool. I might actually, we'll see. Maybe I'll build it out of this basalt. Okay, there we go. So that is very hot. If I take it out, it's going to stay very hot. We're going to take it over here. It needs to be something other than very hot. It's going to need to be the stage right below liquid, and different metals will have different working temperatures. So you can see it's no longer liquid. Now it's just very hot. When I put it in, you can see now that this goes over, and I need to match this green line with this line. And to do that, I'm going to use these to go left and these to go right. I also have to follow the rules, which say that a hit has to be the third from last, second to last, and last thing that occur. So before this gets too cool, I'm going to have to upset it to move this to the right. I'm going to upset it 3 times. I'm going to heavy hit, light hit. And you can see how that, I know that went kind of fast. You might have to watch it back, but I wanted to do it before this cooled down too much. I went 3 upsets to the right to get it way out here, and then a couple of heavy hits brought it back pretty close, and then a light hit brought it within this range. Now, when you're making an ingot, it doesn't matter. You just have to get it in this range, period, and that gives you the ingot. If we're making a tool, for instance, now if we put the plan in there and go like that, you can see that this is now the new target, because that's what you have to do to get a chisel. So you'll have to get it up to temperature, work it over here, and then it's going to be a last has to be a hit. Can't do a hit. You have to have a hit that's not last. So you have to have a hit other than the last that's a hit, and a draw has to be not last. So you have to have at least 1 draw and 1 hit, and then the last thing has to be a hit. So we'll work it all the way up here, and then we'll do that. Anyway, when you're working a tool, a head, like a chisel head or something like that, the closer you get to the center, the more important it is, because when you get the chisel blade or the axe blade or the pickaxe blade, whatever it is, it will have, if you do it perfectly, it'll be a normal full blade, just like this, with the full usages. If you get it way out here on the edge, it may have half the usages, right? And if you get it kind of somewhere close to the middle, it may have like 90% of the usages. So how good of a job you do with this process right here, the better the tool that you yield is going to be. So the actual skill matters a little bit in this, and you kind of get used to what'll occur when you do the hitting, and what different hammers will have a little bit, like I think a stone hammer will have a little bit more flux in how much movement it will make, and the better hammer you get, the more precise you can be. So just things to think about when we move forward. But we now have 1 tin ingot, which we can start to make some tools with. What I'll probably do is make a chisel and a pickaxe first, or maybe a chisel and a sword. Well, no, a sword is a little more complicated. A sword we have to actually do some welding for, so maybe we'll try to get to a sword next time as well. And to make this whole process easier, what we're going to do is build ourselves a bloomery, which will smelt our metals down a lot easier. But to do that, we also need to get the charcoal pit going. So what I'm going to do is prepare for the charcoal pit. I'm going to get the 30 log pits that we need. When we come back next time, we'll start by making the charcoal pit, making our chisel, using the chisel to carve out some of the stone that we decide we want to use here for making our forge and bloomery and all that, and we'll get that process going. And hopefully next time we can do quite a bit of work with our materials, and maybe even go get that copper and see what we can start doing with that. So we're starting to make our way. I think we're making good progress. Thank you guys for watching. I apologize this one was longer, and I wanted to, like I said, make up for kind of the lack of movement last time, and I think we did, but we'll keep trying. So anyway, if you liked it, thumbs up. Please leave comments. I will respond to everyone. Check me out on Twitter, MinecraftOTB, Facebook.com/MinecraftOTB. Tell your friends, and I'll talk to you soon.